Alright, welcome to Blue Eyes Creations. So, for our first actual content video, I found a couple of life hacks that I decided to try. Because one of them, have you ever heard those life hacks that sound kind of weird, but at the same time you're like, oh, that's kind of borderline genius because it might just work? Well, here's a couple of them that I found. The first one is a dryer sheet. Now, they said put the dryer sheet on a brush, but since I cut my hair, I can't really use my brush. My hair doesn't part the way it's supposed to. It actually messes with the part in my hair. So I stuck the dryer sheet on my comb. So all I did was just kind of held it over that side, so it's kind of like a little handle. But then you stick it over the teeth on the larger side. I've been using it for about 3 or 4 days now, and all you do is like, I don't know how well you can see it here, but like I've got a few fly-ups around my part, and you just kind of brush them down, and it actually works to keep them in place like they're supposed to be. And it's not like a one-time use thing. I mean, this has lasted me pretty much all week. It does make your hair smell kind of nice as well. It's not something that you would normally think of, and I know they have a hairspray that'll do the same thing now, but since I actually didn't have any hairspray at the time, I was like, oh, that's amazing, let's try it. So now you know, a dryer sheet on your comb or brush will keep those frizzy little hairs kind of in line. It kind of takes the static out of them, makes them lay flat, and it smooths your hair out a little, kind of makes it a little softer on the surface. The next one I want to show you, it's one I've used my whole life. I've always had these little pieces of silver jewelry. This is a little cuff bracelet, but if you have a piece that's got enough silver, it's gonna tarnish, and you can kind of see it here. It's not nearly as bright as it should be, and that's just to tarnish all the oxygen it's been getting. But don't fret, there's a couple ways to fix this. If you actually put this on and like hold your hand over it, your skin will make at least some of it go away. I've actually done that before, just stuck it on my wrist and kept rubbing on the surface of it, and it kind of made some of the tarnish go away. It's a very long process though, so it only really works well if you got like a ring, something small. What works even better though, toothpaste. I use Colgate. They're not sponsoring this or anything. It's just what I've always had to use for this because I've figured out that it does work. I don't know how well very many of the others work, but this is the one I use. You need a soft bristled toothbrush. You want a soft bristled toothbrush because you don't want to really rub anything into your silver. You just want to kind of get the tarnish off. So a soft bristled brush will do really well. You also don't want it to be a toothbrush you are currently using. You want this to be an old toothbrush. This is one of my old ones, and I just keep it around specifically for taking the tarnish off of my jewelry. This is all it gets used for. I wouldn't really want to put this back in my mouth after I've cleaned my silver off. All we're gonna do, you're just gonna put a little bitty bit of toothpaste on there, about like that. Of course, if you have a bigger bracelet or something like that, you have to put a little more on there. No big deal. Also, word to the wise, this does get a little messy, so if you are, like right now, I'm on my kitchen table, and if you don't want to be on your kitchen table and you want it somewhere cleaner, go over a sink. But all you're going to do is just sit and start brushing. Alrighty, now since I'm not at a sink, I went and got me a glass of water. I kind of got some of it off, especially around my feather, where some of the tarnish was really the worst. You just kind of get it under the water. Let's get us a paper towel here. And you're just going to dry it off. You might have, like in these little crevices, you might have some toothpaste and stuff still. That's fine, just run it over the water. It'll get most of it out. You know, it won't really hurt it. Upside to this, now your jewelry smells minty fresh. Here is the bracelet now. See how it actually shines in the light? You can tell that it's beautiful again. That's what the toothpaste will do for your silver. And it's a really quick fix, so if you're going out and you look at your jewelry last minute and go, oh my god, it looks terrible, just run to the bathroom, get an old toothbrush and start brushing on your jewelry, and it's good as new within just a few seconds. Now the last thing I want to show you is kind of important to me. I wear a lot of rings. I don't in my videos, especially if I'm planning to do any craft work, because I can't work with rings on. But we've all had those problems where there's a ring that doesn't fit right. I know a lot of people who know the duct tape trick, where you just take some duct tape and roll it around the ring, and I mean, it works okay. It works, but it's not the most comfortable or eye-grabbing thing. I mean, it's gonna grab attention, but for all the wrong reasons. It's not very flattering, especially if you have duct tape that doesn't really fit the ring you're wearing, because all I had at the time was black. I found something that says that you can put hot glue on your ring and it'll work. Now, I'm not going to use it on the gold ring. The gold ring is actually a very special, so I can't use it on that one. However, once upon a time, I did buy this cheap little mood rings. It doesn't really fit. I mean, it fits this finger okay, but I've already got a ring that fits on this finger. That gaposis problem there. So I got my tripod set up so that it's closer to the table. You can see what my hands are doing. But all we're getting is a glue gun. Now, this is a high-temp glue gun. You don't necessarily need that much power. If you have a low temp glue gun, it'll work just as well because you're not really trying to hold anything in place. You're just trying to get a bead of glue on the ring so that it will stay on your finger. I'm not sure this is going to work because I'm already scared about the possibility of messing up and ruining my jewelry. That's why I'm trying it on a ring that means nothing to me. So I'm gonna set the ring upways like this because I did try it one time, setting it right side up like this. All I had was like this little film of glue over it, and it wouldn't have helped really hold the ring on any of my fingers. I'm gonna leave it laying. Now I'm on a hardwood table top, so the glue is not really going to hurt anything. It's not going to hurt the table. I don't recommend doing this on like a plastic surface, especially if you're using a high temp gun like I am, because it might actually hurt the plastic. If you are working on a surface that has a tablecloth, remove the tablecloth beforehand. This is going to take a minute to dry, since I had such a high temp gun. If you have a low temp gun, it's not going to take nearly as long. Okay, so we're back. I've had a little bit of my coffee. This looks like it's about dry enough, and it took a few minutes. Thank goodness for thumbnails, because that's pretty much the only way I'm getting this up. So, let's see here. I guess it wouldn't be bad, but the way I did it, I have these bulges on the side. I don't know if you can see them very well. But these two little bulges are going to make it really hard to get on very many of my fingers, except maybe my pinky. It actually does kind of help on my pinky. So, I mean, this is something that would take a lot of practice to get really good at doing for your rings. It doesn't look like it hurt the ring at all, other than turning the ring a really dark black for a minute because it was really hot glue, because this is a mood ring. It's not something I would do with my rings very often, I don't think, simply because I can think of better reasons to use hot glue. I can also think of faster and easier ways to get ring stops for my ring. This is a hack that I guess would work if I knew what I was doing and was really good at it, but I'm probably not going to use it. Okay, so now we know that this works really well. I don't know that I would do it every day, but especially if I'm going out and I see those little fly-ups and I don't have my hairspray, I'd probably use it. Simply because I don't really use hairspray that much. And I know this works. I'm advocating the use of toothpaste on your silver jewelry to get the tarnish off. And it's not something you have to do often. I definitely don't have to. I think I've had to do it 2 or 3 times in the past 4 years, simply because I don't wear that bracelet all the time, because it is something very precious to me. And we also now know that this is probably not the best way to fix a ring. It's not the way I would anyway. You're welcome to try these on your own, make your own decisions, but that's what I've found. So that was your first life hack video from me, Blue Eyes. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you like this channel, go ahead and subscribe. And if you have some life hacks you've heard of and you want to know if they work, if you have any craft ideas you want me to try, go ahead and tell me about them down in the comments. I would love to hear about it. I think next week, if I have more time, because this week I was really pressed for time last minute. Next week, the plan is duct tape. But what I do with it is a surprise, so you're gonna have to watch the video. That's all for me for this week, so until next time.